I'm Indy Nidell. Welcome to the Great War. When we left off, the Russians had just captured the Austro-Hungarian fortress of Przemyśl, which they'd had under siege for months. This gave them 120,000 prisoners and allowed 3 Russian corps to turn around and fight the Austrians and the Germans in the Carpathians. On the west, the French and the Germans were bombing each other, and the Germans and Russians were skirmishing far to the north. Now let's begin this week in the south. We spoke a few weeks ago of the typhus epidemic that had ravaged Serbia throughout the winter. And that epidemic, combined with the huge casualties the Serbs had taken, successfully defending themselves against repeated Austrian invasions in late 1914, had Serbia pretty much standing on her last legs. And now, with the epidemic winding down, she was something of an easy target, although enemies Germany, Austria, and the Ottoman Empire had their hands full at the moment. Serbia's neighbor Bulgaria had not concluded a formal alliance with the Central Powers though, but was quite friendly with them. And indeed, Germany and Austria-Hungary had loaned Bulgaria huge amounts of money. So on April 1st, Bulgarian Turks launched an attack on Serbia just across the border in Valandovo. Now this territory had been part of Macedonia and was pretty hotly disputed by Bulgaria and Serbia. And the purpose of the attack was to disrupt the Thessaloniki-Skopje railway line and then head into central Macedonia and cause a rebellion among the Macedonians against the Serbs. However, after a couple of days, the Serbs managed to drive the invaders back across the border. 5,000 Macedonian Muslims went with them. The Bulgarian government officially blamed Serbian troops for the attack, but you could really see that Bulgaria's commitment to solving the Macedonian issue, in other words, taking over all of Macedonia, and a formal alliance with the Central Powers seemed to be just a question of time. There was plenty of action in that neck of the woods this week, actually, and let's now look to the Bosporus, where the Russian Black Sea Fleet bombarded the Turkish forts. 5 battleships, 2 cruisers, and 10 destroyers were sent to do the job. But fog and the sinking of 2 destroyers by the formerly German battlecruiser Goeben, now the flagship of the Ottoman Navy under the name Yavuz, caused the Russians to withdraw. Now, if you're wondering why the name Goeben might seem familiar, it's the ship that bombarded Sevastopol back in late October 1914 in a successful yet very shady attempt to bring the Ottoman Empire into the war. All this week, the wind was so strong in the Dardanelles that it was impossible for the British and French to sweep away Turkish mines. So the chance for a swift victory through the Dardanelles that the Allies had hoped for and indeed tried for a few weeks ago was no more, as the region remained firmly under Turkish control and the defenses were built